Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Chris Collier. I'm the host of Conquer with Chris, the podcast you don't want to miss. Today I have Lindsey Sewell. Lindsey, welcome to the show.
Hi, Chris. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm excited to be on the show today.
Oh, it's all my pleasure. So if you would you tell the people a little 30 seconds about who you are, where you're from, what you do?
Sure. So I am Lindsey Sewell. I'm from Chicago. I am primarily a homeschooling mom who runs a business and kind of the nooks and crannies now of my time. It was really the reason why I started my business in the first place over 6 years ago was to be home with my babies. And it's always been about time freedom for me so that I don't have to be reporting into somebody else. I don't have to ask for time off. And I've really built a business around being able to be really present with my family and to do that in a limited amount of hours and still be able to make that full-time income.
Wow. Wow. Excellent. Excellent. So we know everyone had a starting point. So let's rewind. I'm not going to do the voice. No, okay, I did it. So let's rewind to when you started, Lindsey. How do you come across this lifestyle that you've been able to put together? I'm sure you didn't start off making thousands of dollars or even hundreds of dollars right away online. So let's go back to the beginning, if you would, and give us a little fill in here.
Yeah. So as I said, when I was pregnant with my second daughter, Ellie, that was back in 2016, I was desperately looking for how can I leave my corporate job, but I needed the money, right? We had this dual income household and I couldn't just quit to be able to be home with my kids. I still need to generate that income. And there was a woman down the street who was selling leggings on Facebook. And she said to me, I'm making $4,000 a month. All I do is post these pictures of these leggings. And I thought to myself, that's more than I'm making at my corporate job. And so I didn't even know what I was signing up for. I just signed on the dotted line. And a few weeks later, 386 pieces of clothing arrived on my doorstep. And I was a business owner. Now, that business was very much in person because people wanted to come to my house to try on things. I would go to other people's house with those clothes. And it was very exhausting because I did have a newborn baby at home. I had a toddler and I was still working pretty much full time. I was just working full time inside my house. So I realized within about a year that I needed to get online. I needed to do more online marketing. And I was awful at it when I got started. I switched to a more traditional network marketing company. All I did was plaster pictures of my products everywhere. I asked people if they wanted samples. I sent out hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of samples and signed up like two people. and it wasn't going anywhere fast. And it was really not until I got some training, some coaching, some mentorship, and learned attraction marketing and really started to actually build a personal brand for myself. I started to build an email list. I started to do videos online that were more authentic and about me and my journey and things that I thought could help other people versus just being a billboard for my company. That's when things started to turn around. And that's when people started coming towards me instead of me trying to I was basically like the perfume lady at the mall that y'all want to avoid, right? I'm like, hey, can I spray you? Can I give you some? Can I give you some? And no one wanted to come near me with a 10-foot pole.
And that's the real reason I carry an umbrella to the mall.
Yeah.
The
So I was
perfume
that,
lady.
you all know what I'm talking about. I was that person, but on social media, and it was embarrassing. I hated it. I hated reaching out to people and asking them if they kept their options open, if they'd be willing to try my products. It just felt so gross to me to be doing that because I didn't like it when someone did it to me. And
One.
So I didn't want people coming to me unsolicited and asking me if I wanted to join their business or post about their products. So it really felt very weird and strange and awkward for me to do that. And because of that, I was self-sabotaging my own business. I was sitting down at my computer and I was procrastinating and I was doing everything else. I called it procrastinating because I would go, "Oh, I need to do this training today," or "I need to do something else." In order to avoid talking to people because I didn't like the way that I was being taught to do it.
So what was that first aha moment, right? Because everyone has an aha moment where you realize spamming people, bad Lindsey, evil Lindsey, you had to put evil Lindsey away and come out with good Lindsey. How you found, you knew that inside that it wasn't right, but when did you transition into the attraction marketing space?
Well, the first time was when somebody said to me, "The money is in your list." And that was kind of a shocker for me because I was coming from this perspective of, well, email marketing is dead. Obviously, everybody's doing everything on social media. They're running Facebook groups, they're posting about their products. Email marketing is dead, right? And so, but there was something in me that liked the idea of being able to kind of honestly in the beginning hide behind that email list and make offers to people rejection free because I didn't know what was going on when they opened that letter. I didn't know, I wasn't getting ghosted one-on-one. And so I thought to myself, even though in my mind I was a little skeptical of whether or not it would work, I decided, well, it's easier for me to do this than to go out every day and to bug people who don't want to hear from me. So that is when I got my first lead magnet and I started to build my email list and I started writing to that list right away. That's a big thing that I think mistake that a lot of beginners make is they think they need 100 people, 1,000 people on their list before they're going to write to them. I had like 2 people. It was like me, my husband, and my mom joined, and I was writing to them as though there were thousands of people on my list about all the exciting things that were coming up. I started to everything I was learning because I had been doing all that procrastinating, so I had a lot of knowledge but I wasn't making any money yet. But I started to do videos about what I was learning, just authentically sharing, "Hey, I found this tip, I tried it out, these are the results I got, I wanted to share that with you." I started to email those things out to my list. So this was all coming together and creating the synergy of creating videos that were helping people and then inviting them to my list and then emailing that information back out to the people who maybe missed the video. And it really started to create, I call my list now a community. It's people who know, like, and trust me, who will write me back, who will ask me questions, who will open the letters. I have like a 40% open rate on my email list now every single day. And I email a lot. Like I email like 4 to 6 times a week. But that is because I've built a really, really strong relationship with that email list. And now I know that on any given day, I don't have to sell any one person, but someone is going to buy when I make an offer, which is, it was born out of my fear of talking to people and my distaste for the traditional prospecting methods. And it's become something that I really look forward to and enjoy doing. And I want people to know what's possible instead of thinking, "Oh my gosh, no, that's dead. That doesn't work anymore," because it really does. It really does work.
The way I think of email marketing is it's a safety deposit box, right?
Yeah.
So like you can take the people from social media and put them in your safety deposit box just in case, you can't get to them on, you go to Facebook jail, YouTube demonetizes you, whatever other platform you're on, you get kicked off temporarily or permanently. Now you have a backup. You have a backup because you can still get in touch with those people. "Hey, you didn't see my YouTube video because it's not there anymore." You can go click on the link. It's on my website or whatever the case may be. So what I hear you saying is you create the sense of community in your email
Mhm.
And then they also have a chance to, I guess, reach back out to you because they can always respond. So for that person just getting started,
Mhm.
how would you tell them to engage those people, and even what offers, and this is kind of tricky because I know everyone has something a little bit different.
Yeah.
How would you tell them to set up their lead magnet and their community?
Well, so I mean, I love the free tool Aweber. It's free for like your first 500 subscribers. So I always tell people get started with that, because by the time you have 500 subscribers, your email list should never cost you anything, because if you're doing what you should be doing, which is writing to them, inviting new people all the time, at that point, you're going to be at least proficient, if not starting to become an expert, and you will be making money from that list. Aweber, even when it's not free, is a ridiculously affordable program. And then there's lots of other programs out there. You can create a lead magnet inside of Aweber. So the thing to think about with a lead magnet, because I know that people watching this, there's going to be somebody in every different industry. What is something that is valuable enough that you can give away, you can share information wise, a video tutorial, some tips, whatever it is, a recipe booklet if you're into health and wellness. What is something valuable enough that someone would give you their email, and just make it relevant to the thing that ultimately you want to sell? And that's going to allow you to get the right type of people onto your list. So then you can go out and you can start creating video content that is relevant to the lead magnet. So, like, let's say you have a recipe book. You can start going out there and creating videos around the biggest mistakes people make when they're trying to lose weight, or how to lose weight without feeling like you're deprived all the time. And so, because that's like, seriously, any woman who's ever been on a diet, or man, knows that like the thing you fear the most is, oh, I'm just going to be eating celery and I'm going to feel so deprived all the time. And
Or that Papa John's commercial comes on for the 15th time.
yes, and you're like, I just want a slice of pizza. And that's really the beauty. And this is another big misconception that people have about video, is that you have to have tons of people watching your videos, subscribing to your channel. You don't. I still consider myself a teeny tiny producer on YouTube, and yet I make a lot of money from my channel. I'm not going to get into dollar amounts, but when you have a audience that really loves you, you don't, those numbers are vanity metrics. And that's a huge misconception. Like, people say, well, I can't do it because I'll never get to 100,000 subscribers, or I don't get, more than 100 views on my videos. It doesn't matter. If you have 10 people that love you and they're going to buy from you over and over and over again, you can really start making some money, and then you grow that. So
And
these
let
two
me
things work so well together.
and let me help you. I'm on the other side of the spectrum. I have 3,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel, but none of them come back and watch anything. So, so you can have 3,000 subscribers and they don't really help you. So
Yeah.
you can have the other side. You could have 1 million subscribers and none of them really care.
Exactly.
When I talk about subscribers, I'm talking about people who are actually community, right? So someone you can reach out and they're really interested in what you or I have to say. So
Yep.
you did that. You got really good with the email, and you already talked about video content. So that leads you to where now?
So the important thing with video and email and all the content that you're creating is you want to be effective and efficient with your time. And that's been always really important to me, because I said I'm primarily a homeschooling mom who runs her business part-time, but I want to make full-time income from it, right? I don't want to make, $25 here and $50 there. I really want it to be a business, not a hobby. And so your content, you want it to be intentional, and you want content that's going to convert. So, like I mentioned earlier on, as you build your list, as you create your lead magnet, everything should be relevant and allow people to take the next step with you. And that next step can be a lot of different things. It can be inviting people to a webinar where you are going to sell, or maybe it's a company that you work with that has a product and they're going to do the selling. That content can be inviting them to check out the lead magnet. So now they're on your list and you can make offers to them and sell them the products. It could be inviting them to a Facebook group. There's so many ways. It could be a consultation call if you're a coach or you're a consultant, and that's how you sell your products and your services. So content that converts is really important, because you don't just go on there and be like, here's what I'm having for breakfast this morning, and then be like, hey, do you want a business consultation? It's not relevant. It's not going to convert. So
unless you're doing diet stuff.
You want to show up as having some credibility and authority. And that doesn't mean you have to be an expert. It doesn't mean you have to make a ton of money online already. And that's another misconception. People are so afraid and they're so focused on themselves that they say, well, I don't have enough influence yet. I don't have enough authority, enough credibility, so I can't go out there and say anything. And they don't get started. And when you just get started with where you're at and being one step ahead of the person who you're helping, you can start to create that content and bring them into your world, keep them somewhere where they're not at the whim of whatever social media platform you're on, and you can nurture those people over and over and over again.
Wow. Oh, excellent. And how would you say, let me formulate this question. So content that converts, what makes that different? I understand that you want to be congruent in your messaging, right? You want to be talking about weightlifting and garbage bags, right? Trying to sell garbage bags. That would be a horrible.
Yeah.
But anyway, so you want to be congruent. But what else helps you make content that converts?
So you also don't want it to be overly salesy or overly hypey. People, especially consumers these days, they're not coming to social media to be sold to. But when something piques their curiosity, they love to listen in and be educated and be entertained and be inspired about things that solve their problems. So if you come on there and you're salesy and you're talking about, and even if you're like, well, this content is relevant to what I sell, but you're overly salesy and hypey, people can see right through that, and it's like shields up. Like I don't want to come. It's the perfume lady at the mall again. It doesn't matter if you're doing it on video or you're posting a picture of your products. You've got to really think about, what are things I can educate people on? How can I make it fun and entertaining? Use your personality, be authentic, use your humor if you're funny, right? I sometimes follow people online just because every time I go to their page, there's something hilarious that they say that makes me laugh. And that builds that bond and that relationship. And when you help people, you create a lot of reciprocity, right? So if you're out there and you're creating valuable information that is going to help people, regardless of whether or not they buy from you, they feel that sense of reciprocity. And then when you do have something to sell, they may not always buy it, but they're at least willing to take a look. Like they're at least going to come over and check it out or ask you for more information. And it becomes really nice to have a conversation with someone when they're wanting you to share information versus you trying to like barge through their door into their house and ask them to buy something.
Right. Because psychology states that there's a certain law of reciprocity that you're saying, that if you've done something for them, by default they feel they owe you. In the back of their mind, they owe you, so they're going to want to buy from you, versus you strong arming someone into a webinar and they're going to sell me. I bet I'm waiting for them. I'm waiting for the pitch. Then halfway through the webinar, you go into pitch mode and they're like, yep, there it is.
Right.
Click. They're off the webinar, right? So, and then versus you having a webinar and you giving away information, and then they turn around and be like, well, I also have this offer. Just putting it out here. No pressure. Bang, there it is. And now they're inquisitive because you give them so much value. They feel, and they also think, man, if they gave me this much value on this side, what's on the other side of that value door, right?
Right.
So
absolutely.
that's amazing. Amazing. So what is your quote of the day?
Well, so here's what I have always told people is that consistency is more important than your natural ability. I didn't know anything about marketing when I got started, but I decided that I was going to consistently show up. I was going to consistently create a video a week, every week in the beginning on what I was learning, what I could help people with. I was going to consistently email my list every single week at first, and now it's much more than that. And so my quote is that success isn't always about greatness, it's about consistency.
I like it. I like it. I thought your quote was going to be, I like your quote that you made up yourself. What'd you say? Yeah, success is not consistency, is consistency, not your ability. I like
Yeah.
that one.
All right, well, we'll go with Lindsey's original quote.
Lindsay's original quote: "Success is not ability; it's consistency."
Yes.
That's wonderful. And over time, one of the things I've learned is when you start feeling like you're competent about something, you start gaining confidence. And when you gain that confidence, that's when your ability starts to shine through. Is too many times we think you're not born with it, so you're not going to be good. If I go back and look at my first video, which I do quite a bit because I'm in video, I say, man, that thing's horrible. And but you grow and you get better. And there'll be a time I look back on this video, and there'll be time you look back on this video and say,
Yep.
man, that's a horrible interview.
Oh, no, no, no. I was terrible too. I've kept my first video. It's unlisted on YouTube, but every once in a while I send it out to my list just to remind people, because they say, well, I can't do what you do. You look so comfortable on camera. And I'm sitting there so nervous, and I have to have notes, and I can't talk off the cuff. And I said, the first video I ever did, and this was back when I was still trying to sell those leggings that I had bought online, I did not want to show my face on camera. So I kept turning the camera around to show the clothes instead. And then when I was showing the camera, I didn't know how to do it. So I was like holding it like this and looking down. And so you get this nice, lovely shot up my nose. My whole face is turning red. And I actually developed somewhat of a stutter. And I've never stuttered in my life, but that's how nervous I was to be on camera, on Facebook, even just to my Facebook friends. It felt like life and death. But I came upstairs because I was downstairs in my basement filming this. And I came upstairs to my husband and I said, I never want to do that again. And he said, well, you better figure out a way around that because you've got 386 pieces of clothing down there to sell. and that was really the driver. I wasn't good. I wasn't comfortable. I wasn't great at it. I didn't have that natural ability, but I just had to be consistent long enough to develop that confidence and that competence. And then everything changes.
Wow. That is great. That is great. So how can people find you?
Sure. Well, like I said, I do have a YouTube channel, so you can go and search for me on YouTube, Lindsey Sewell. And then I also spend a lot of my time on Facebook because I do love to build a community on Facebook with my friends, engaging with people there, talking to people. Or you can go to my website, lindseysewell.com, and jump on my newsletter if you want to be part of my list.
Great. And do you have any special offers right now for anyone who might be watching during this time?
Oh, well, you know what? I did just release a YouTube Shorts for Profits course. It's like a 5-module mini course that can help you to start getting comfortable doing short form video. And it's not just for YouTube. You could use the same strategy anywhere that there's short form video, TikTok, Reels, Shorts, whatever. So if you jump on my list and you email me back, so you'll get initial email from me when you jump on my list. Just email me back YouTube Shorts and I'll gift you the course for free.
Wow. Hear that, everybody. Can I hear it for the people in the back? You can get a free course. That's wonderful. I like it. I like it a lot. Well, hey, it's been my pleasure to have you on, Lindsey.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Chris Collier, your host, Conquer Chris, the podcast you don't want to miss. Hey, please like, share, and subscribe. And by the way, join my email list. Have a great day.